Buongiorno, buongiorno a tutti e benvenuti.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Vicenzaoro September. In these days, when Vicenza is becoming the capital of what is beautiful in Italy, Europe, and in the world, and being the capital of beauty, let me recall the ambassador of beauty, Giorgio Armani, who left us yesterday, the true ambassador of beauty. Thank you. So they told us that in Fiera Vicenza nobody would have noticed that there was work in progress, and we were quite skeptical. The journalists did not believe that. But already last January, we actually had a look through a hole to make sure that things were actually changing. And what a change. 60 million investment has been allocated to replace the old building with a totally new and innovative one. Evolution in logistics. And in this edition, we can see from the outside that the outside walls are ready. And for sure, President Cagnoni would be very happy, as we will hear from President Ermeti. So we're halfway through, but also this time nobody can see that there is work in progress. So this international exhibition for the whole value chain of gold jewelry and watches attracts everybody's attention. Vicenzaoro has never been as important as it is today, even though the world is now going through a very, very complex period. But Vicenzaoro is a reference for all people working in this field. After 2024 with a growing turnover and in 2025 with big clouds on the horizon regarding foreign trade and possible tariffs, this 2025 September edition is sold out with 1,200 exhibitors coming from 30 different countries. And this confirms the connection with the city of Vicenza, which is the undisputable capital of gold jewelry. And the title we have given to this edition is The Geopolitics of Gold. And we understand this also with a connection with the offer that transforms the historical part of our town in a stage with the support of Confcommercio that has requalified the window cases of unrented shops with amazing pictures celebrating Vicenza as a city of gold. The Palladian Basilica has hosted the Vicenza Symposium. It has become something like a university room with people talking about innovation in the place that has been designed by Palladio himself. And since we're just about to officially open Vicenzaoro September, let's see what is new in this edition. And for 2026, the Vicenzaoro Awards, it is possible to start applying for this context. But let me introduce today's guests. And I would like to start with the president of the province, Mr. Andrea Nardin, the president of IEG, Mr. Maurizio Renzo Ermeti, the mayor of Vicenza, Mr. Giacomo Possamai, councillor for the development, economic development and energy, and Claudia Federico, president of Federorafi, and Fabrizio Lobasso, vice director for the promotion of the Italian system and central director for the economic internationalization at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I would like to leave the floor directly to the president of ICE, Mr. Matteo Zoppas. Mr. Zoppas, please take the floor. Good morning, everybody. Authorities, entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs make this day so important. Institutions. Mr. Maurizio Ermeti, president of the Italian Exhibition Group. Mayor, Mr. Giacomo Possamai. Mrs. Claudia Piaserico, president of Federorafi Confindustria. Thank you very much for the quality that you have expressed in your mandate. I know that this is possibly your last edition in this role. I would like to welcome Fabrizio Lobasso, the ambassador with whom we work together to support Made in Italy all over the world. And we tend to meet each other in many different nations. And thank you very much also to Mr. Roberto Marcato, counselor and dear friend with whom we have worked together very closely. Right. I want to proceed in an unusual way. Since yesterday, something very important happened that will affect our world. I would like to say a few words regarding the person who has contributed to the definition of the category of fashion. Leaving us leads to the loss of a reference in fashion that has made Made in Italy known all over the world. Discreet, master in style and elegance, the protagonist through his creations of the success of the Italian style, he has created an empire based on human values, new ways of developing his enterprise. Families and whole areas are thankful and grateful for this. He's leaving a moral heritage to those who every day can choose simplicity, also in luxury. Ambassador of the principles of Italian entrepreneurship and success. Thank you very much, King Giorgio. For sure, Giorgio is leaving an important sign. Giorgio has also supported the growth of the whole fashion industry. And many entrepreneurs sitting here in this room have been inspired by his strong personality, although he was a simple and humble person. And this is a true DNA that Giorgio used and valorized in his relationships, enhancing the capability of Italians to be creative and to bring Made in Italy as a brand all over the world for a turnover 623 billion euro in 2024, 480 billion in 2019 with a plus 30%. And we have a target, Fabrizio, 700 billion. It is a very clear and ambitious objective defined by Mr. Tajani, who focuses on the diplomacy of growth. This means a plus 10%. Plus 10%, that was a plus 30% from 19 to 22. We're talking about targets that can be reached. But the difference is made by entrepreneurs, companies, products, new products that are created and developed. I was talking with Claudia Piaserico before, and she said we must give optimism. And going all over the world, I have to say that when a company develops, creates, designs, and as a driver, not only in terms of technology, but also in terms of product development, well, results become visible. For the Made in Italy brand, it would be exceptional not to grow. So when Made in Italy finds its expression, it grows. Since 2014 to present time, we've doubled our export. And this is thanks to entrepreneurs. So if in your industry you see that things are slowing down, well, we know that there has been an amazing growth because there was a nation changing the rules and buying a lot. With the stocking and destocking logics, you know that you have to adapt, the market adapts to production, and we will have a positive result given the commitment of our enterprises and of our institutions as well, and of the whole Italian system. ICE. We work together with the Cassa Depositi e Prestiti and the Sistema Paese. We provide significant incentives and contributions to allow Made in Italy to grow abroad. And I would like to thank Maurizio Forte, head of the section focusing on the promotion of Made in Italy brand, and who is competent for all exhibition and fairs. We sometimes work in the shade, in the sense that people do not know what we do. But when I came to ICE, I had no idea what ICE actually made. So let me give this message to entrepreneurs. I mean, if you rely on ICE, and these are statistical data by the Italian Statistical Office, so if you compare a population of enterprises that are supported by ICE and those that are not supported by ICE, well, there is a difference of approximately 10%. We have tools, we make them available. Entrepreneurs have the possibility of getting to know different modalities, different possibilities. We also introduce them in the diplomacy of growth, establishing contacts with the foreign instruments and tools that are provided not only by our 80 offices, but also by consulates, embassies, by all those institutions that support Italian entrepreneurs with contacts that allow enterprises to grow even more. So entrepreneurs can grow, and of course their company can grow too. 15.5 billion, we said that Made in Italy has grown 40% in this industry in 2024. It is slowing down in 2025. You know this better than I do. What is decreasing? Well, Turkey and the US, because of the significant issue we all know about. Tariffs are a serious matter. The exchange rate is a serious matter. And these two factors together are extremely serious. Made in Italy in extremely serious situations like in the post-COVID period has been able to grow nevertheless. But of course, to conclude, we have to say that we hope, we wish that notwithstanding all these difficulties and complexities, we will be able to grow nevertheless, achieving our target. Of course, margins will be reduced because of these factors. The price to final consumers may go up. But I would like to congratulate and compliment all entrepreneurs because notwithstanding all these issues, I can see them super active in Italy and abroad, looking for solutions, negotiating with customers, making their product more and more appealing. And I am sure that we will reach the target of 700 million euro, given the team we have. Thank you. Thank you very much. I apologize. I have to catch a flight and I have to leave you. I'm so sorry. I cannot stay here any longer. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right. So since there is an empty armchair, I'm going to take possession of it. Much comfier than my stool. Thank you. So I would like to thank all the representatives of the institutions, Senator Ned Persino, Honorable Filippini, Eric Preto, Euro MP Elena Donazzani Marabizzotto, Senator after being Euro MP for many years, Roberto Giambetti, President of the Regional Council, Councillor Lanzarin, the representatives of the Italian police. You all testified to the significance of Vicenzaoro and IEG, but let's have a look at this video.
Grazie. E a proposito di...
Well, the president of the Veneto region, Zaya, and the minister of companies and made in Italy. Please read the letter sent by the minister. Mr. President Ermeti, thank you very much for the opening ceremony. I'd like to apologize for not being able to be president. I'd like to thank you and the Italian exhibition group for the work you did for the city of Vicenza and the trade fair. The gold jewelry cluster is a very vibrating reality which is composed by a lot of companies guided by the creativeness of crafts and entrepreneurs. Our products are very welcome in all markets all over the world. Based on that, we can really appreciate the importance of this meeting. This is an opportunity to assess the health status of the industry and have a dialogue on issues like AI and new trade dynamics. I'd like to congratulate the participants of this trade fair. I refer to the exhibitors and the masters, entrepreneurs who daily work in this area, spreading well-being all over the community. I'd like to wish all success to the trade fair of this year. I would like to welcome you on behalf of the Veneto region and my personal greetings.
Ringrazio il Presidente.
The message by the minister. Thank you very much, Mr. Ermeti. I apologize for not being able to be here because of previous engagements. Vicenzaoro for 70 years have represented one of the most important events of the supply chain. Your showcase with more than 1,300 brands, out of which 45% are Italians, are a very interesting and dynamic place for the whole industry. The gold jewelry and watch industry closed the 2024 with very encouraging outcomes, demonstrating a strong resilience against geopolitical tensions, inflation, and logistic problems. You have had an increase in turnover of plus 4.4, confronted with a drop in the fashion sector of minus 9%. The export of jewels is at historical heights with a value of 13.7 billion euro, with a plus 49% in value and 23% in quantity as compared with the previous year. 2025 has opened with signs of slowdown, mainly due to the US tariffs. This is time to work together, creating alternative outlets to the US market, a market which we have to integrate and not replace to further consolidate our international position. The goldsmith and jewelry sector is one of the top-of-the-range industries which less are affected by the short-term crisis, thanks to the good quality, craftsmanship, and innovation which characterize your work. I'd like to thank all the industry associations for the support to the initiative of the Ministry of Made in Italy, starting from the Tavolo della Moda to the support measures for investments and promoting this industry. I conclude by wishing good work to exhibitors, designers, buyers, and operators, because the passion and commitment that you put in your activity are the most precious resource of our Made in Italy. Thank you very much, the Minister. Thank you very much. Now, let's start involving our host First of all, President Ermeti, President of the Italian Exhibition Group, I mentioned what happened last January. You are doing a lot, so what's the state of the art? Well, an immediate reaction. Well, we are very glad. Indeed, we are perfectly following the time schedule that we have. We are in line with that, so we are confident for the future. The next edition, which is Vicenza September, will be held in the fully renovated buildings. So it's a good start, and we are very energetic. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming and attending these very interesting and busy days. I also would like to welcome the guests, our mayor, Giacomo Possamai, the president of the province, Andrea Nardin, the president of Federorafi, Claudia Piaserico, Dr. Federico Lobasso, Deputy General Director for the promotion of the country as a system. I also would like to thank President Zoppas, who unfortunately had to go. He had not planned to come because of the flight, but indeed he wanted to be present, so he decided to postpone the flight. That is a clear sign that we are very glad to work together, and I'd like to thank him for the time he devoted to this opening ceremony. I also would like to thank Mr. Marcato, the local Minister for Economic Development, Energy, who comes to all trade fair events. Then what about the strategies? Last year I said, and I repeat this also this year, in the light of what's happening, only if we face and tackle the very difficult challenges confronting us, only by being united we can think of a solid and lasting future. We are aware that what Italian Exhibition Group is doing constantly and continually here in Vicenza is this. We want to lay the basis to face a common future. We have launched strategic investment, 60 million euro, quite an amount, to renovate the trade fair premises. The aim of that, together with other activities, is to strengthen the role of Vicenzaoro internationally. The works are continuing on time. I mean, you can see the building because of its height, and the roof will be laid soon, and then we'll start with the interiors. We are confident that in the edition of September, we'll have the opportunity to hold the opening ceremony in the new pavilion. Indeed, what's going on is very important. It's a major result, a major target for the Fiera di Vicenza. We want to reconcile the trade fair and the city of Vicenza to confirm the leading role of both, thanks to the trade fairs. Maybe they are not the largest in the industry, but I'm sure I can say that they are the most beautiful and fascinating. To do that, we should continue collaborating with the institutions. And since you are here, I indeed want, and don't be surprised at that, our mayor, Possamai, we have been working with a common project, and hopefully in the new urban plan of the city of Vicenza, we could envisage a number of parking lots which is adequate to the new size of the trade fair. We would need more than 2,000 additional parking lots near the fair. But bricks are not the only important thing. We are also building a real global network, which is intended to improve the role of the fair as an authority in the industry and our beloved Made in Italy at large. We have been working together for 9 years now, and the global network of jewelry has grown. Also, with the Singapore and Dubai trade fairs, they are very useful to learn, to meet new people, and to set up a network so that we can improve our revenues and to invite more and more buyers and exhibitors from abroad. We are collaborating with the ICE, and indeed we are reaching record numbers, more than 600 buyers coming from all over the world. We are doing fine-tuning, and with data in our hands, we see that if these initiatives are well structured and coordinated as a group, we will be able to derive very good benefits for the Italian trade fairs. In the framework of this wide network, we do have Oro Arezzo and the Summit of the Italian Jewelry, which are additional key elements of our approach to making trade fairs, building a solid platform so that the whole industry can grow. And indeed, the cherry on the pie is that yesterday night, the first edition of Vicenza Symposium was concluded, a scientific congress on the jewelry and goldsmith technology, which is a candidate as a world reference point. That demonstrated that we have been able to convene the experts of the most important international groups. So being international is a key point for us. In all the events, indeed, the point of reference and our priority is internationalization. More than 50% of visitors as an increase and 45% of exhibitors from abroad. Indeed, with these numbers, Vicenzaoro is ranking amongst the most international trade fairs in Italy, not only in goldsmith and jewelry, but also in other industries. So that's a unique trade fair. There are great challenges in front of us, and they are played in a geopolitical landscape which is getting more and more difficult. As Italian exhibition group, we are directly involved, always on the side of exhibitors. We are aware that they are, and we are, facing difficulties. However, trade wars are scary for us as entrepreneurs. At the same time, we are human beings, and indeed we are deeply affected also by other wars which are making more and more victims. So my wish, well, I think we are aware that we have gone beyond the limits. So my wish is that good sense could be become more important than conflicts, so that wars come to an end as soon as possible. Since we are speaking about very sad things, I would like to mention a person who, is no longer with us. A great mourning for Italians and the world. So Italian Exhibition Group I would like to remember, and today is the 5th of September. 2 years ago, President Lorenzo Cagnoni is no more. I would like to say, dear President, dear Lorenzo, your and our project is going on, is getting better and more important. It's a challenge because we want to be leaders internationally. It's a challenge that producers, entrepreneurs, designers, innovators and the city of Vicenza is what we deserve. And for that reason, dear President, we continue to invest and believe in this project with great determination. Thanks again, President Cagnoni, for the work you started, and thank you for continuing it.
Right, and I can see that you are eagerly clapping, so let's give our final thanks to the people who really worked for this event. Matteo Farsura, Mario Vescovo, our daring captain of this enormous building yard in the fair. Thank you very much to the EIG team that always works with a lot of enthusiasm on these wonderful projects. And to all of you, enjoy the exhibition, and I wish you profitable proceedings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much to the President of IEG, Mr. Maurizio Ermeti. So you have told us that Vicenza is becoming more and more integrated with the fair. So I would like to invite the mayor, Mr. Giacomo Possamai, to come to the podium to tell us about this integration between the fair and the city. Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank the authorities and the institutions to be here today. Very quickly, let me expand on what President Ermeti has just said. The extraordinary work done by IEG as hardware and software development. Today, we have heard a lot about the hardware. First of all, the extraordinary investment for the new hall. But what happened yesterday and in the previous days in the Palladian Basilica with the Vicenza Symposium is an event of great value for the city, for the fair, and also for the future of our industry and of our cluster. Well, being able of having such a significant event here with all the technologists, the experts, the managing director, the CEOs of the biggest actors worldwide in the industry of jewelry technology and fashion accessories gives us an idea that gold is not just the history and the tradition of the city, but rather Thanks to research, gold jewelry is also an amazing possibility for growth and development. And in a difficult moment like this one, as we have heard by all the previous speakers, it is a difficult period in geopolitical and economic terms. Well, the only real instrument to go through rough seas is that of having suitable ships. In other words, research and creativity, inventing new things. This is the best way to guarantee a future to the fair, to the gold jewelry district, to make Vicenza even more central on the international scenario. And in order to do that, it is necessary to develop relationships, but it is also necessary to create a system and facilities. President Ermeti mentioned the development of the fair headquarters. Well, in September, in the coming weeks, the Municipal Council will define the master plan for the fair and the industrial part of our city. We really need to think about the future, and we will do that with IEG, with the different economic categories, with the Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to greet the President who's here with us today, because Vicenza is not just the capital in industrial terms and the capital in exhibition terms because of its history alone. It is a capital also because of our future prospects, and therefore we need to work together with clear development targets. So thank you very much, President Ermeti, and heartfelt greetings to all of you. Thank you very much to Mayor Possamai. And now, before giving the floor to President Nardin, I would like to advertise for what we're actually doing. Giornale di Vicenza and TVA are actually focusing on an industry which is becoming more and more important for the economy. And I would like to thank also the economy department of Giornale di Vicenza. Thank you very much to the team. So we are working hard because we believe that it is important to tell what is happening in this industry. Well, Vicenza is an important province, President Nardin, so not just the city, but the whole province, since the gold jewelry district is actually present in the whole province. So please welcome Andrea Nardin, the President of the province of Vicenza. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to greet you all, illustrious colleagues here on the stage, numerous institutions represented here. Thank you very much for being here today in Vicenza. So before starting with my contribution, I would like to thank the daring captains, like President Ermeti called them, who are actually leading these ships in a rough sea and are doing great things here in Vicenza. But I believe that it is also important to underline, as we have heard from the director of Il Giornale di Vicenza, it is necessary to underline the fact that we have not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands of sailors allowing these ships to move forward. I'm thinking about all the workers working in the building yard for the new fair. I'm thinking of the journalists providing our fair with visibility. I'm thinking of all the security forces, the volunteers who are working outside under the sun, in the cold, to guarantee that this fair is successful. And thanks to all those young people who find a job in such a qualified context. Let's put our hands together for all of them because they make Vicenza great. For my contribution, I would like to start from what has happened in recent days. I would like to recall the departure of Giorgio Armani, not only to express the sadness since a reference person for Italy has gone, but to stress some aspects which, as the president of this province, as a representative of this area, have really impressed me. Two, more than anything else. Being a private person, competence before visibility, work before visibility. Well, this is a concept that is rooted in our area. Before thinking about how we might appear, we actually reflect and ponder and work and study. The visibility, the grandness of this area and of Giorgio Armani are the consequence of significant competence and hard work. This is one of the fundamental aspects of the province of Vicenza, one of its main characteristics. And the other point I would like to share with you is that old Volkswagen car that was sold in 1975 to have the funds to set up an enterprise. That car is very similar in concept to those melting pots that many goldsmiths bought, paying installments. It is very similar to those drawings done in a garage and the wealth that Armani achieved, just like our companies are achieving today. I believe that this is a second fundamental element of our entrepreneurial class. Not only more than 700 tax positions working hard. These are men and women who day after day make our province grand. So I believe that this is the sap that runs into the roots of our area. A grand city, Vicenza, in a grand province. The goldsmith and jewelry district is from Rostica to Campo, from Noventa to Montecchio, and goes through Cornedo, that intertwined its history with Giorgio Armani's story. Vicenza, once again, the protagonist in the history of Italian, made in Italy, and Italian fashion. These roots must be further strengthened. This is why the province of Vicenza must play a role. 700 companies, responsible for 5,000 jobs, 5,000 families. So when we build a school, enlarge a road, we provide these companies with the service. This is our role, and this is the #1 reason why, with dignity, equality, and sense of responsibility and participation, together with the Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to thank the President sitting here in the first row, together with the Municipality of Vicenza, we are part of the IEG group. In conclusion, these roots are important. They are the source of inspiration, because the healthy tree has to change its leaves, has to grow to become stronger and stronger. And this is my wish for IEG and for this grand province. Thank you.
Grazie, grazie Presidente Nardin. Ecco qui.
Thank you very much, President Nardin. We also have Mrs. Claudia Piaserico with us. After 4 years of activities in Federorafi, we all know that it is an industry that is very susceptible to all what happens in the world. So please, Mrs. Claudia Piaserico, can you draw the balance of your 4 years? Right, these have been 4 complex but very much fun years, I have to say. So thank you very much, Marino. 4 very intense years. I am concluding my mandate with a positive balance. We have done a great teamwork with synergy between different associations and with the institutions that I shall thank. for their participation in our different projects. Our target has been clear from the very beginning: strengthening the reputation of the Italian Made in Italy jewelry and the international scenario. And we have tried to focus on the strategic assets of Made in Italy, specifically our jewelry. So internationalization, we have heard this term already several times. And I would like to thank ICE for their great support. And I'm sorry that Matteo had to leave us because I wanted to thank him personally. I would like to thank the Ambassador Lobasso. We're still working very hard on new projects together. And I would like to thank Maurizio Forte who surprised me with his presence here today. This has been a surprising work with ICE. They listened to what we had to say, and together we have somewhat worked in a different way from the typical modalities of the agency, developing a new way of communicating Made in Italy with a more updated language outside traditional channels, a project that has had the target US and UK and led to 60 million impressions on the different platforms used. So with the resonance that was highly significant. We have widened our large distribution agreements, focusing on the United States, UK, France, and Germany. Negotiations are ongoing for Australia and Poland. And as far as large distribution is concerned, we have increased the number of Italian suppliers with 300 new companies. A big success. For the United States, this has meant 350 million euro more in terms of turnover. A very significant success. And as I was telling you before, for the next October, we are planning a first appointment. This is a pilot event of a journey that the gold jewelry industry is going to undertake in the different embassies all over the world to tell about our value chain, because today it is necessary to explain that it is not just one brand versus the unbranded product. It is not a company that is good in one field or the other. If we excel because we have a value chain, a supply chain, which is excellent, 360 degrees. And I would like to thank Ambassador Lobasso, because I know that I stressed him yesterday in this respect. But as a matter of fact, this is a project we want to invest on, because we know that it is of growing importance for our counterparts to know about the intrinsic value of Made in Italy. Also to overcome geopolitical uncertainty and the uncertainty of tariffs, as we have heard about in the last few months. So we've worked very hard on training and education, and I would like to thank President Cagnoni and President Ermeti. I remember my first time on the stage here when he stressed the need to work together more and more so that training and education becomes a shared topic for associations and IEG. And this is what we've done. First of all, with the Scuola.net project, working on the school orienteering towards our industry on an online channel that has 6 million views each month with a significant resonance, and offline by bringing students to Vicenzaoro. So it is not just orienteering in the schools, but orienteering directly where people work. And in 3 years, we moved from 50 students to almost 500 students. A big success. Thank you, President.
Lavorato sull'innovazione.
Indeed, we worked to improve innovation. Yesterday, the first edition of the Vicenza Symposium was closed. Besides IEG, the symposium was organized also by 2 competing companies, and that is one of the most important messages. These two companies joined forces, combining their knowledge and skills, putting that at the service of a system. So, President, indeed, it's not a candidate to become an international hub. It already is. We had industrial directors, production directors of the top brands of jewelry and watches. We also worked on culture and legality. For the first time, the Opera Gioiello project was launched. Following the support of Minister Tajani, Minister of Foreign Affairs, we have been asked to work on integrated communication. So jewelry is not only an industry. Jewelry, indeed, a bulwark made in Italy. So we selected opera, and we did that in Arezzo. We are studying a more compact format. Maybe the next edition will be in Dubai, and we discussed already with the Abu Dhabi ambassador. Last January here, we presented the protocol signed by the gold producers with the tax police. That is the first national protocol signed by the tax police and an industry. The idea is to convince entrepreneurs that the culture of lawfulness and legality is the basis for further development of the industry. No need to mention details. We already did that. We worked on sustainability. We tried to approach also the smallest industries so that they can implement sustainability. They have been supported in learning how to get certificated. We have close relationship with RJC. We are supporting also European institutions to fight the import of Russian diamonds. When the war started, our industry had to bear many limitations. Now I can only thank Maici, ICE, and also the people in the institutions who collaborated with me, my association, other associations, and the whole industry. So it's not an old way to work. It's a continuous development, and it is the stimuli coming from entrepreneurs who help institutions to learn how to take part in new projects. I also would like to thank and re-thank IEG. Indeed, in the past, the trade fair of Vicenza was considered as a trade partner, but IEG is not only that, it's a strategic partner for the development of the industry, as we can see from all the projects that we have implemented in these 4 years, thanks to their support. Thank you very much, President Piaserico, for the 4 years of intense activities. Before giving the floor to Ambassador Lobasso, I'd like to launch a video on Vicenzaoro.
We link past and future. We connect generations. We support our industry. We build communities. We empower excellence.
Ambasciatore Lobasso, parlavamo prima di...
Ambassador Lobasso and I were talking about the fact that there were better times to be part of the ministry. Still, we have some points of hope. So please be optimistic. I know that it's difficult, but I trust you. Good afternoon, everyone, dear friends here. We are friends, and also to the authorities here. It's a great pleasure to meet you again, to Matteo Zoppes, who had to go. When I was a child, it's make a step back to make a better jump. This is what we do in difficult times. And maybe this is what's happening. I told that to Claudia yesterday. So we have to get used to emergencies. So the pandemic, the tariffs, the Red Sea, the Hormuz Strait, war in Ukraine, we diplomats are deeply affected, and we have to adjust our chromosomes and identities to new situations. And it's like a spring which can jump in the end, where we can be a part of a team where being together is better. We can exchange ideas, propose novelties, and be united. I'm glad to say this today, mentioning what President Piaserico said a few minutes ago. Yesterday and today, when hearing about the alliance between IEG, Dubai, and Hong Kong, it's time to go back to the idea of co-opetition born by Harvard and Yale many years ago. It's combining cooperation and competition. It's when two partners decide that combining forces is much better. This is what happens in the field of technology, innovation, industrial patents, and so on, and also in terms of trade fairs, and hopefully in every field of life where combination maybe implies losing something but gaining a wider space. So from A and B, you become C together. This is something which is continually moving. The symposium of yesterday with the young designers, creators, the use of AI, digitalization, automation, as we heard yesterday, they don't go to the detriment of crafts. On the contrary, they enhance the most brilliant soul and the real texture. This is what's going on. And it's good that the City of Gold, Vicenza, organizes these values, combining values, community, brains, enlightened authorities, because they are trying to govern this process. Allow me to be a bit nationalistic. It's very Italian. We are very good in understating, saying, well, we made nice things, but we talk of that. We have a low profile. But I think we have to show that, because that can become a model and can be exported and can become big systems, as Italy is as a system. I started working for the foreign affairs ministers nearly 30 years ago, and I think that the fact of speaking of the country like a system is more dignified the industrial associations, the public funds to support industry, all the associations working together so that we can be international.
E manco a farlo apposta, i riaggiustamenti di mercato che ho potuto leggere.
This is the export plan of the ministry. I keep an eye on gold, jewelry, fashion, and our forecasts are coming true. So the markets which we consider priorities are getting more important. They open up again at a time when we still have to see how to stabilize uncertainties in markets like the US, for example. The ministry is doing its work with a support to the system. We attend meetings like these. I don't like very much virtual meetings. I think that when you go and attend in presence, you convey more energy. I was speaking with Marco Carniello, and we spoke of other things also. So we achieved the focus on the things to do. The communication project called Opportunity does not only concentrate on Italy as a brand and Italian identity. We do have to gain new buyers by improving business matching, by using social networks, and a network system which is a point of strength of the ministry. We have a consulate office, we'll have a meeting of scientific experts, space experts, agricultural experts, the whole world supporting Italy to get international. The Days of Fashion have been launched and they are underway around the world. Armani leaves sadness in our hearts, but he has left energy. And an example, if you just read or listen to YouTube, you may well understand that he had realized that there is something more than profit and competition, because he is in a larger dimension. The Days of Fashion, opera. In Rome, we had an exhibition by Dolce & Gabbana. I indeed didn't know that Dolce & Gabbana has been very important in the opera costumes and shoes and jewels, all very beautiful things. I was impressed. On the 17th, my general director will be in Milan to start a discussion on the internationalization of trade fairs. The international cooperation indeed is important, but we have to further improve our skill to reach countries like Germany. They have the intuition of Shanghai, to have parts of Italy around the world, and that should be multiplied. Trade fairs and the supply chains are a key element for Italian export, as much as 60%. Thank you very much. Here, for the second time, and indeed I'm here for business and for support, but I feel like a friend now of this place and this community. I realize that there is something going on, and when the spiral goes up, we are happy together. Sometimes when the spiral goes down, we get a bit depressed. No, this is not happening in Vicenza. Everything is accelerating. bearing in mind the difficulties that we have, and that's good. The fact that we are here and optimistic is very nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Lobasso. So the very last contribution will be given by Councillor Roberto Marcato, Councillor for the Economic Development of the Veneto companies. Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. It is always a pleasure to be here with you. Let me just quote a few figures, very briefly. Veneto, 1,200 companies active in this industry, more than 6,600 jobs. In Vicenza, we have the concentration of these companies, 50% of them, and 75% of the headcount. A further proof of the central position of the Vicenza district. 7 out of 10 companies are based on craftsmen. And I like to stress this because very often these small and medium enterprises in Veneto are viewed as a fragile and weak model. But let me stress once again that this type of company really has an extraordinary capability of reacting to crises and to difficult situations. And since we're talking about the difficult international situation, Veneto closed its 2024 with a minus 1.8% in terms of export. In the very same year, the gold jewelry industry closed the year with a plus 12.1%. Vicenza, so the GDP growing down by 1% in 2024, and the gold industry in Vicenza had a plus 15%. This is just to tell you how strong this industry is, also when the international scenario is particularly complex. So up with Vicenzaoro, up with the Veneto region. I mean, I could talk for 1 hour and 15 minutes, but I'll keep it for next time. Thank you. Thank you very much, Councillor. Right, that's true. We started late and we are a little bit late. So this is why I'm inviting to the podium for the cutting of the ribbon, Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri, President of SIPCO, Mr. Giorgio Zuccato, President of the Chamber of Commerce of Vicenza, Mr. Maurizio Forte of ICE, ideally Corrado Peraboni, the Managing Director of IAG, and the whole IAG team, Alessandro Marchetti, Carlo Costa, Marco Carniello, Mario Vescovo, Matteo Farsura, and Michela Amenduni. The whole IAG team with whom I have collaborated for many years. Right. There we go. Enjoy Vicenzaoro September. Thank you very much to all of you.